Is it visible now?
Yes, madam.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So this is our third module, usage of vocabulary and functions of grammar. How we should use vocabulary, proper vocabulary, a good vocabulary in content construction, as well as we are going to learn about grammar rules. So what are the grammar elements, how we should follow them, and what are the rules we should apply whenever we are going to use grammar, right? So these things we are going to learn in this third module. Before we are going to learn about grammar, let me start with the vocabulary. Right. If you want to know what is vocabulary and the power of vocabulary, so I would like to show you a small example. Here is the example. You just read this content by taking 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, here you have to be a fast reader. You just read this content by taking 1 or 2 minutes, and the highlighted colored words I'll explain later. Just read it fastly. This is a passage is about the psychology of voters. Voters means those who are going to select politicians. Elect or select elections, right? Do the voters vote for their favorite candidates by making instinct decisions, or they making rational decisions? Can't see.
No, ma'am, we can see, ma'am.
Okay, right. Can any one of you read it very fastly and quickly and with more clarity? Can any one of you read it quickly with more clarity of your voice? Akash, why don't you read it?
Ma'am, the second page is not visible, ma'am.
The second page.
Yes, ma'am. I mean the second PPT.
18 plus 6.
Is it?
Slide is not visible, ma'am.
This particular slide is not visible.
It's showing only first slide, ma'am.
First line.
Yes, ma'am. It's introduction slide.
Okay, wait. Is it visible now?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can any one of you help me to read it very quickly? Akash, why don't you take the chance?
Okay, ma'am. Do the voters vote for their favorite candidate by making instant decisions, or are they making instant decisions, or are they making rational decisions? Do people find enough time to vote for his favorite candidate on the basis of reasoning, that is by considering the candidate's policies, his vision, etc.? Or they finding shortcut ways to select a particular candidate by making their first impression through a compendium of various research projects? The writer says why the voters vote for a candidate. The basic idea that the article talks about is that political decisions are based upon a person's competitive appearance. Impressions matter, especially for the unknowledgeable, politically ignorant potatoes.
Couch potatoes. Right. Thank you, Akash. Right. Here, let me ask you one question for all of you. Ma, are you able to understand this paragraph without the? Are you able to understand this paragraph very clearly, even including with these red color highlighted words, without knowing their meaning? I think only these four words are able to understand. These four words are highly difficult to understand. That's why here I have highlighted them with the red color. So what about the remaining words? Are you able to understand? Are you able to understand this paragraph, this content? Here is the passage. This passage is about the psychology of voters, how they are going to elect the politicians, particularly at the time of elections, whether they are having consciousness before they are choosing their politicians, how they are electing particular persons. So this is about this passage. This is the summarization about this passage. Now you tell me, are you able to understand this paragraph with the new vocabulary words which I have highlighted within red color? Just answer me, answer me. We have to move forward. Are you able to understand
No,
this
ma'am.
passage, the meaning of this passage, including with the red colored highlighted words? Is answer me, ma, answer me fast. Are you able to understand?
The highlighted words we cannot understand, ma'am.
Okay, now this is another question for you. Except these highlighted words, are you able to understand the remaining content? Except this highlighted words, are you able to understand the remaining words and their meaning? Is it difficult or is it difficult or easy? Guys, I'm asking you, except these four highlighted words, are you able to understand the remaining words and its meaning, its sense in the passage? Okay, we can understand. Some of you are answering that we can understand. Some of you are answering that, okay, little bit we are able to understand, ma'am. Right. Yes, of course, definitely. I do accept with you. Why? Because when comparing to the highlighted words, the remaining content is little bit easy to understand. And moreover, they are regular words which we'll use them in our daily usage. See, if you see some of those words, voters, favorite candidates, right, decisions, generally these kind of normal vocabulary words, we are using them daily in our usage. That's why we are able to understand, we are able to guess its meaning very easily. But what about the red color highlighted words? These are critical and these are new vocabulary words. So here what my intention is to explain, if we are unable to understand a new meaning, a new word's meaning and its sense within the content or within the sentence, here we are highly unable to understand the whole meaning of the content. See, without these highlighted words, you only have accepted that yes, we can understand a little bit, or we can understand. Yes, we are trying to understand, right? But whenever you are finding these new vocabulary words, definitely you may struggle, or your psychology may struggle over there to understand the particular sense of the sentences. In which sense the sentence has constructed, what is the particular meaning of this word? If we are unable to understand the particular meaning of that particular word, we cannot move forward. So here that is the power of vocabulary. So vocabulary means knowing the meaning of new words is called as vocabulary. Here, this is a live example to know the power of vocabulary. See, let me explain the meaning behind these highlighted words. Definitely, you'll be able to understand the whole meaning of the content. See here, do the voters vote for their favorite candidates by making instinct decisions? Here the word instinct means trying to accept something without having any logics, or trying to accept something without having any ideas is called as instinct decisions. So how the voters are going to elect their rulers, whether they are going to have any instinct decisions means sometimes some kind of people, they'll follow blindly what they have known or blindly what they have believed. What they believe blindly, they are like to, or they love to follow that. Instinct decisions means following something by feeling strong, by feeling something very blindly. Okay, so instinct decisions, how the voters are electing or choosing their rulers by following their instinct decisions, or they making rational decisions. So here instinct decisions means following something by blindly believing, or rational decisions means so following something with the more what we call it, just before I have used. Yes, rational decisions means we have to follow something when we are feeling it with more genuine or original, when we feel it 100% true, when we feel it 100% correct. So fixing to something, that is called as rational decisions, right? After making a lot of research, some people, they may believe that yes, this is right, this is wrong, but some people without doing any researchers, sometimes they are believing something very blindly. The first cadre will comes under rational decisions. The next cadre comes under instinct decisions. Ma, are you able to understand? Able to follow? Students,
Yes, ma'am.
are you able to follow? Here I am trying to explain the importance of vocabulary so that I'm explaining this content.
Madam.
Yes, right. Here, throughout our journey, we are going to learn new vocabulary, words in the part of vocabulary module, right? So instinct means something believing very blindly. Rational means, so by knowing something, by knowing something within a fixed manner, and taking decisions regarding that is called as rational decisions. So here the content meaning is how the voters, they are going to elect the rulers. Are they following instinct decisions or rational decisions? So that is the meaning of instinct, and this is the meaning of rational. Next, do people find enough time to vote for his favorite candidate on the basis of reasoning? That is, by considering the candidates, policies, his vision, etc., or they're finding shortcut ways to select a particular candidate by making their first impression. So candidates, what they are fixing, or on which basis they are going to choose their rulers. So whether they are going to consider the visions and policies of their rulers, or they are going to choose their shortcut ways without knowing anything else, without thinking anything about their rulers, without considering any activities of their rulers, are voters going to cast the vote. Okay, so making their first impression, right? Some people, according to the political issues, some people by looking at the persons or by looking at the person's interaction with others, or sometimes because of their own nativeness or own right, something over here, maybe because of their native place, because of their caste and all those, right? We have known very well, we need not to discuss about all those, right? So some kind of people, they go for casting vote while they are electing their rulers. So through a compendium of various research projects, the writer says why the voter vote for a candidate. See here, the word compendium. If we are unable to understand the word compendium, we are unable to understand. It is highly difficult to understand the sentence meaning from through a compendium to for a candidate. The whole sentence, within this whole sentence, if you are unable to understand a small word, we are unable to understand the meaning of the whole sentence. So here, the compendium means making a lot of research or search, making a lot of search in an in-depth manner is called as compendium. Here, within this sentence, the meaning of this sentence is the writer has conducted a survey. The writer, those who has written this text, has conducted a survey. Compendium means after making a lot of research, making a lot of research and something searched within a in-depth manner, writer has decided how the voters are going to cast the votes, or how the voters are going to elect their rulers. He had conducted a survey. Compendium means searching something within a in-depth manner. Right. The basic idea that the article talks about is the political decisions are based upon a person's competitive appearance. So, throughout these sentences, or mostly this passage is speaking about what? How voters are going to choose their politicians. So mainly how voters, they are going to choose their rulers, mostly based on their appearance, based on the appearance of rulers or politicians. Voters, they are ready to cast their vote. And appearance, impressions matters, especially for the unknowledgeable, politically ignorant. Couch potatoes means most of the times, or most of the cases, voters, they are considering only rulers physical appearance, and especially for the unknowledgeable means sometimes people, by simply sitting before the TV and watching the TV programs, here the word couch potatoes means people who behave lazy and get addicted with televisions. The people or the person who always will be lazy and get addicted with television is called as couch potatoes. Okay, so how finally how voters are electing their rulers by considering the rulers' physical appearance and especially watching them on the televisions, and just keep on listening those news and all the news channels, all the speeches, right? So advertisements, all the advertisements, by watching and by considering all the advertisements, people, they are getting ready to cast their votes. Okay, so these, see, so how are you feeling now? After explaining these particular words, meaning and its usage, how are you feeling now? Are you feeling it's easy to understand, or still are you feeling it is difficult to understand? Yes, let me know.
Yes, ma'am, we can understand.
Yes, definitely. Why? Because wherever we find a new vocabulary word, so it's highly impossible, and we sometimes psychologically we feel highly difficult to move forward. And repeatedly we may read the same sentence for twice and sometimes thrice too. But whenever we understand that particular word, based on that word and its meaning and its usage, we may keep moving to the further lines. See, this is the word power. This is the word power. Word power means here the power of vocabulary. If you are unable to understand a new words and its sense and meaning, we are unable to understand the whole passage. And this is going to be applicable for the remaining 3 skills. Here, demonstration I have given for reading. Here I have provided a content, I read and I explained. I made you to understand a new vocabulary words. The same thing is also going to be considered for the remaining 3 skills. What are those 3? See, if I am a speaker, without providing this content, if I am keep on talking or if I am keep on speaking about this particular content, being a listener, if you are unable to understand some specific words in my speech, if you are unable to understand, if you are unable to follow some specific words while you are listening that, being a listener, you cannot understand. So being a listener, you must maintain a good vocabulary knowledge, as well as, see, sometimes while we are speaking, while we are explaining about any situations, if you don't find out a suitable words while we are speaking, while we are explaining about a particular situation, if you don't find an exact words which are related to that situation, so that is lack of vocabulary. That is lack of vocabulary. Right. We must be able to use appropriate words according to the situation. So that is called as the power of vocabulary or the strength of vocabulary. If you are able to use them, you can explain or you can provide your presentation within a good flow. Sometimes, right, while we are searching for the words, sometimes our flow will be stopped. Here we are searching for the words means we don't have a good grip on our vocabulary. That is speaking. For speaking, we must maintain a good vocabulary, and for listening, we must maintain a good vocabulary. Why? To understand, to follow the speaker, and as well as to read. See here, while we are reading, if you find some words difficult to understand, according to the human psychology, our thinking ability will be struck over there. Our thinking ability will be struck over their particular sentences. We cannot move forward, and repeatedly we'll focus, or repeatedly we keep on thinking about those sentences. We cannot move forward. We may not go to the remaining sentences. If you don't have a proper vocabulary knowledge, even reading is also difficult. At the same time, while you are writing, for writing skills, while you are writing, if you are unable to find out a good vocabulary word, right? For example, importance. Importance. It's a general word. It is importance is a general word. But if you want to make it a little bit high, within a high manner or within a formal manner, which word we can use? Can you guess and can you answer me? This word I have used so many times while I'm explaining the importance of speaking, while I'm explaining the importance of listening. Instead of importance, we can use another word. What is that? Can any one of you can tell me that?
Significance.
Yes, exactly. Very good. The significance, the word significance is going to be more highly good vocabulary word for the usage of formal context while we are speaking and while we are writing the content. Instead of importance, we can use the word significance, but both the same, both meanings are same. Such like while you are writing also, if you are unable to find out an exact vocabulary word which can explain the situation, there you cannot have a good writing skills. So vocabulary can cover all the language skills of LSRW: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So that is the power, or that is the importance of vocabulary, right? Right. Let me. So far I have given the importance of vocabulary, and here is the definition. The definition means nothing. The definition means nothing. Knowing a new word's meaning and its sense within the sentence is called as vocabulary. Knowing a new word's meanings and its sense. A sense means the way of usage. Sense means the way of usage. Knowing new words meaning and its sense, the way of usage within the sentences is called as vocabulary. Right. See here, oral vocabulary. Nothing, just before what I have already explained. Vocabulary is considering about 4 types and it has a great role in all the 4: reading, listening, speaking, reading and writing. There are 4 different kinds of vocabulary. Words will be there. Some words will be relevant to the speaking and some words will be relevant to the reading, some words, right? So everywhere the vocabulary has a active role. Oral vocabulary, right? And reading vocabulary as well as, see, reading vocabulary. So when we'll find this kind of reading vocabulary, just before I have given a live example, right? Whenever we are going to read a text, so these kind of new words will trouble us. This kind of new words will trouble us to move forward and will trouble us to understand the whole meaning of the content. The summarization. We are unable to find out the main theme of something. If we miss few words, if it means few words within the content, we are unable to understand the whole theme of the content. Okay, if you are able to understand the complete information, if you are able to understand each and every word within a passage or within a given passage, we will be able to understand the main theme of the content. Okay, so reading vocabulary and as well as listening vocabulary. Listening, while we are listening, we must maintain our activeness towards speaker. Why? Not only to understand the main theme of the passage, but also to understand a new vocabulary words. What kind of words are using by the speaker? What is the meaning of those sentences? How those new vocabulary words are able to express the sentence intention. The sentence intention. For example, what is the sentence intention? For example, because of these 4 sentences, we are able to understand the whole theme of the passage. So while your speaker is using, while your speaker is delivering, or while your speaker is using new vocabulary words, you must try to grab them, you must try to understand them very quickly, and you must adopt them. So not only understand the meaning of those words, but also you have to make it useful in your present, in your usage. Understand the meaning of the word and understand the action of that particular word. What is that particular word and how, which role it is playing in the sentence. Okay, means understanding the sense of the word, how it is able to use within the sentence. You might have observed or not, I don't know. Each and every day, I may give you a new vocabulary words. Sometimes I may give you twice and thrice the same word. I may give you in the different manner. Sometimes I may add synonym words of the sentences. Synonyms I may use in different sentences. Right? If you observe the vocabulary words, the vocabulary, new vocabulary words which are using by your speaker, definitely you can improve your vocabulary, and definitely you can be able to improve your listening and understanding skills. If you are able to understand a new vocabulary words, you can increase your knowledge levels. Right. Speaking vocabulary. Being a speaker, instead of speaking within an informal manner, instead of speaking within a in general manner, when if you are able to use a new vocabulary words, but those words must be able to understand by your listeners. Those words must be very easy to understand, easy to usage. Okay, those words should not be very critical. For example, here the highlighted words, they are called as critical vocabulary. These highlighted words, they are called as critical vocabulary. Critical vocabulary means if we don't carry a dictionary, we are not able to understand. Those kind of words will be called as critical vocabulary words. See, except these four, definitely you'll be able to understand the remaining words. You'll be able to understand the remaining words. Why? Because they are very simple and they are very easy to understand, and also we might have listened those words many times within other situations, within various other situations. So they are daily vocabulary. The remaining words, other than the highlighted words, the remaining words, they are regular words. Yes, being a speaker, we have to use new vocabulary words instead of regular vocabulary words. But whatever we are going to use new vocabulary words, we must give its meaning and its usage to your listener or to your receiver or audience. So through that, your receivers can understand new vocabulary words, and also your receivers are able to learn new vocabulary words, whichever you are going to use within your presentation. Are you able to follow? Students,
Yes, madam.
are you able to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Sleeping? Sleeping? All of you?
I'm able to follow, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Anand, don't sleep, okay?
Anand, they always sleepy, ma'am.
Madam, no,
Okay,
madam.
okay. Okay, get back to the classroom, right? So, whenever you are going to be a good speaker, you must be able to provide a good vocabulary content. You must be able to provide good vocabulary content to your receivers. Here, if you are going to use a new vocabulary words here, if you are going to use a new vocabulary words within your language, here you are going to be considered as a good speaker, a good language speaker. See, while you are speaking in Telugu, sometimes we'll speak textual language. Sometimes, if we speak textual language, Telugu, so people how they look at us, or people how they'll consider us, they'll consider us that don't speak original Telugu, right? Sometimes, such like instead of speaking a normal daily usage language in English, if you are able to use highly vocabularized words, you'll be considered as a good language speaker instead of, or rather than the daily usage words. If you are able to maintain a highly vocabularized words, which should be within an easy manner, it should be within a comfortable and easy to understandable manner, you will be considered as a good language speaker. Okay. Next, coming to the writing vocabulary. So what is this writing vocabulary? Writing vocabulary will help you to understand the situation exactly. See, while you are taking a permission, you have to write a letter, right? For example, just imagine that you have to write write a letter regarding asking permission. Just imagine that you are going to write a letter to your principal, sir, for asking permission to attend any sports meet or to attend any technical symposium or anything else. So here, if you use a normal language, so it will be looks like informal. It is going to be looks like informal, simple, how we are going to talk or how we are going to have a chit chat with your friends. Instead of that, if you are able to explain your situation by using a separate kind of separate class of verbal words, those words must be contained within the style of formal. So, could you please? Okay, so such a kind of words. If you use different kind of vocabulary words within the formal style, so it will be very functional. Means so it looks very good. It looks very good. So it looks that yes, he is the person that who is expert in language usage. People can understand by looking at your or by considering at your writing style. People can consider you or people can have a feeling on you that you are a good language user. Okay, for speaking, for listening, for reading, and for writing. If you are able to maintain a good vocabulary words, you will be considered as a good language, user. Okay, right. So this is the importance of vocabulary. Right. In our vocabulary, we are going to have different kinds of vocabulary types. In our vocabulary, we are going to learn different kinds of vocabulary. Here, vocabulary means word. Here, vocabulary means word. And also knowing a new meaning to the words is also called as vocabulary. But every time we are using that words, knowing new meaning and understanding a word by its meaning, right? Every time we are using these kind of statements. But before we are going to know the meaning of the words, first we should study about the words. Before we are going to know the meaning of new words, first, we have to study the words, the construction of the word, how the word has come into limelight, means how it has introduced, how the word has introduced, how the vocabulary has started, right? So let's learn these things, the background of or the literature of vocabulary. So right in that part, the first thing is derivation. The first kind of history of vocabulary is derivation. What is this word derivation? Right? When we have a particular word, that will be considered as root word. When we have a particular word and its meaning, that will be called as a root word. Root word. So, right? For everything, a root is important. So, just converting one thing into another thing by adding something, converting one object into another mold or into another shape, that is by adding extra. Okay, so here hope you have understand my usage, converting one object into other shape by adding extras. The ultimately, so what is the output? So it will come out within a new shape. It will come out within a new shape. So that is called as derivation. So it's a common word, a formation of a word with the help of prefix and suffix. Derivation means it's a common word, just general, a common word. By taking a common word, by adding prefix and suffix. Prefix means before, suffix means after. Okay, simply we'll take a common word and we'll add something to the front of this, to the front part of this common word, it will become into a new word. And if we add something, the back side of or back forward of that particular root word, again it will be considered as new word, right? See the example, very easily you can be able to understand. For example, the formal word or the common word is usual. Usual means which will do it regularly. Usual means which we will do it something within a regular mode, usually. Okay, so usual is a word. The sense of meaning is repeated or regular. In front of usual, if we use a combination of two letters in the form of un, so here un is a prefix. By adding un to the usual, it is going to become as antonym. It is going to become as antonym to the common word. What is the common word? Usual. Usual, unusual, not regular, not repeatedly. Okay, when we add un in front of usual, it has become as different word with a different meaning. Usual, unusual. Okay, such like pronounce. So pronounce, you know very well. And when we add a prefix in front of pronounce, in front of the word pronounce, it is going to become as antonym. Antonym means opposite word. That also we are going to discuss in the further classes. Okay, mispronounce. Pronounce means right word, positive word. Mispronounce means pronounce something within mistakenly or within a wrong way is called as mispronounce. Okay, lead, mislead. Respect, disrespect. Okay, next, let me finish by explaining suffix also. Prefix means fixing something previous of that particular word or front part of the word is called as prefix. Suffix, adding something after the next part of the word, back of the word is called as suffix. How the suffix care? The word care, it looks within the positive manner. Care means being very conscious. Of course, we can call it as a conscious. Being conscious is also considered as care. Care, it's being the positive manner. Careless, negative manner. Careless. And child is a person. Child is a person. Childish, it's a kind of nature. It's a kind of human nature. A quality of children. A quality of children. Being childish means so all the time behaving like a children is called as childish. By adding ish here, from child to means from noun to, it is going to become as adjective. Child is a noun and childish, it's a quality of a person. Childish. Okay, so it is going to become as a adjective. Suffixes: faith, faithful. Okay, as well as we can add within the common word, we can add both prefix and suffix, front part and back part of the word. See the last one, loyal. Loyal means being correct, being honest is called as loyal. So disloyalty, here the loyal is a positive word, being honest. So whenever we add prefix dis, suffix ty, so altogether this word has a negative sense of meaning. Disloyalty means not maintaining a proper honestness is called as disloyalty. And unearningly means not earning anything, is called as unearningly. Okay, so by adding prefixes and suffixes at same time, by adding both within a single word, we can convert a particular word from one meaning to another meaning is called as derivation. Derivation always it has a common word. By adding prefixes we and suffixes the same time, by adding those two we can convert from one word from one meaning into another meaning. Clear? Is it clear?